Hello and a very warm welcome to this week's demonstration. I'm using acrylics, and as you can see I am creating a painting of these two beautiful baby elephants. I couldn't resist. I particularly like the connection. It's just slightly off centre, which works really well for me. This is on a 12-inch by 10-inch canvas. And I've made the canvas into quarters, half and half again, vertically and horizontally. I've done the same actually with the image that's on my computer screen, which is just slightly off to the left. You can't really see that. The reference you can find on a website, which I will link in the description bar below. It is a paid-for reference image, but I think they are just such a reasonable price, and I love the worry-free use of those photographs. The colours that I have are ultramarine blue, burnt umber, black and white. This is quite a tonal image, so we shall be concentrating more on how light and how dark your painting will be as we go along. So shall we make a start? I think we should. I'm going to block in the colours and mixing my ultramarine blue and my burnt umber to make a lovely dark colour. It surprises me how dark you can actually get it. So let's mark out the eyes. I brushed some of the charcoal pencil off because I found it a little bit too dark. Oh, they're just so cute. I'm using a flat number 8 brush. I really quite like the length of the brush on this. So let's just mark where all the main features are. So I've decided to do a voiceover because, as usual, when I start painting, all my verbal capabilities go out the window. I'm concentrating on all the pictorial information, and I'm really concentrating. And as you can see, I'm blocking in and I'm moving between warmer tones by adding more brown to my mix, or cooler tones, which is adding more blue to my mix. And of course that's ultramarine blue and burnt umber and a little bit of white where it's needed. As you can see, it's roughly sketched in. I'm not being precise. I'm using a small filbert brush to get in some detail on the eyes so I can get the correct angles in. I add cadmium red light to my palette and mix that with my ultramarine blue to make a purple. Then I've added yellow ochre to my palette, adding a little bit of purple and a ton of white. As you can see, it makes this lovely sandy colour. I'm going a shade lighter on the trunk there. And the ultramarine blue and burnt umber mix can be quite transparent, so I'm using it more like a glaze. Going dark again on the left hand elephant there. I do tend to go dark to light continuously throughout the painting. And this is the end of day one. You can see my palette there looking quite messy. The ultramarine blue and the burnt umber mix, they're quite close together, continually changing it from warm to a cool grey there. And as you can see, it's really scruffy. It's just a very rough layer, and that nose on the left is looking quite blue because the elephant on the left is more blue than the one on the right. This is day two, and I'm making some corrections here. I'm also making more observations as I'm making these corrections, which it tends to be easier once you've stepped away from the canvas for a little while. You tend to see where you need to go and what needs correcting. I'm redefining the darks. Making the elephant there on the right a little bit lighter, and using directional brush strokes to define the shape of the elephant. Lighter tones on the elephant on the left, just by adding a little bit more white to the blue-grey mix. Back to my filbert brush here to do a bit more shading on the forehead. And a few more highlights. Now very often when adding highlights, the white actually dulls down once it dries, so I gradually increase the lightness as I go along. Using my detail brush for the eyes and a little bit more blue. Back to the filbert brush. And I reshaped the trunk because I realised at this stage that the size of the canvas is slightly smaller lengthwise than what I really needed, so it meant that the image was slightly squished. So I readjusted a little bit, and I still think it works well. I love all the intricate lines that you find on elephant skin. So I tried to follow the direction of those lines, but I'm not being precise in following every single line to the image. But I am getting the directions that you can see in the reference image. I'm doing some of the lighter tones to the elephant on the left there, but I actually found that the highlights on that knee was a little bit too bright, so I just went over it with some darker tones. And this is the joy of acrylics. You can go over it and over it and over it again until you're happy. I'm reshaping that ear there. Now I'm working on the elephant's trunk and all the little creases. And the highlights. Now here I'm using a bristle brush, and this particular brush, the bristles are splayed out quite significantly, so I think it's perfect for doing little tiny fuzzy hair that you find on baby elephants. Before I make a mark, I dab it onto a towel just to take the excess water off. I use the same technique for the hair under the chin, but you'll see later on I wasn't quite happy with the results here, so I actually redo it. I used some of the sandy mix just to bring out some of the highlights on the hair in the ear and the eye there. And using my rigger brush for the teeny tiny hairs. And the eyelashes. I'm reworking the mouth on the left elephant there. And creating the final highlights on the forehead. I went over the previous hair with the sandy yellow mix and let that dry. It has worked out a little bit better. And here's the palette at the end of the day. Very messy, which means you've had lots of fun. And here they are. Thank you for watching this week's demonstration. I really hope to see you again next week, and please consider liking and subscribing, and I will see you very soon, painting friends. Bye for now.